Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something super practical today, mastering the look, the feel, and the delivery of your presentations. We're actually pulling these insights from an English textbook for 8th graders here in Indonesia, but honestly, the principles in here, especially around color styles and visual appearance, are a literal masterclass for anyone. So, let's jump right in and get you looking and sounding like a total pro.
Okay, be honest with me for a second. Have you ever sat through a presentation that was just painfully boring? Or maybe you poured your heart into a class poster and it just ended up looking kind of flat? Well, the source material has this brilliant section called Your Turn, and I absolutely love this mindset. It's basically breaking the fourth wall and saying, hey, the power's in your hands now. It is your turn to step up and make sure your audience never tunes out again.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the anatomy of a perfect presentation we'll be covering today. Expressions, voice intonation, engaging visuals, color psychology, and finally, color combinations. Part 1. Expressions in presentations. Let's talk about what to actually say. Look, when you're up there speaking, verbal structure is your absolute best friend. If you just start rambling, you're going to lose people immediately. This textbook breaks a presentation down into 3 foolproof stages. First, you state the goal. Don't just start talking aimlessly. Set the stage with something like, I'm going to show you how to, or I would like to tell you how to. Second, show the steps. Use clear transition words like first, second, next, finally. It's like leaving breadcrumbs for your audience to follow. And third, ending the presentation. Please don't just awkwardly trail off. Wrap it up firmly with, thank you for your attention. It sounds so simple, right? But using these exact English expressions instantly makes you sound highly structured and professional. Moving on to Part 2, Mastering Voice Intonation. It's all about how you say it. So you've got this great structured script, but if you deliver it like a robot, yeah, no one's listening. You need vocal synergy. Listen to how this works. When you want to persuade people or get them excited, use a higher or rising intonation. You naturally lift your pitch to grab their attention, but then when you're wrapping up a thought, your voice slows and your pitch falls. This lets the audience know you're finished with that point. You have to mix these 2 techniques up so you don't sound completely monotone. Part 3. Steps to make engaging visuals. Let's look at what to show. All right, now that we know what to say and how to say it, we enter the visual pillar. Whether it's a slideshow or a wall poster, this is what hooks the eye. The textbook gives us 5 concrete steps. Get a topic, think about your purpose, pick your target audience, figure out your info and illustrations, and finally, choose and combine colors. That 5th step, that is exactly where the visual magic happens. Selecting the right color style is literally the secret sauce of a great presentation appearance, and it's what we're going to focus on for the rest of our time today. Part 4. The Psychology of Color Temperature. The power of tones. Now, what's really interesting about this is that colors aren't just there to look pretty. They carry immense psychological weight and can completely flip a room's mood. Check out this fundamental contrast. You've got high-keyed colors. Think soft, bright pastels that give a very light, easy impression on the eyes. And then on the flip side, you have low-keyed, dark colors. These bring a much heavier, solid visual impression. You'd use these when you want to signal that something is very serious or grounded. But it goes beyond just light and dark. We've got to talk about color temperature. Warm colors, like your yellows all the way to reddish violets, create this wild optical illusion. They actually seem to come forward and look larger. They're super aggressive, making them perfect for main elements you really want to highlight. Cool colors, though, from violet over to yellowish green, they do the exact opposite. They seem to move backward and look smaller. Because they're so calm, quiet, and peaceful, they make the absolute perfect presentation background, ensuring you don't end up straining your audience's eyes. And finally, Part 5, Color Combinations, the color wheel. So how do we actually mix these without making a complete visual mess? You don't just guess. There are specific formulas for this. First up is the analogous color scheme. These are colors exactly next to each other on the color wheel. Imagine blending sky blue, green, and yellowish green all together. The effect? It makes your overall presentation feel incredibly warm, calm, harmonious, and just really friendly. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean. Those analogous colors sit right side by side. Because they're literally neighbors, the visual transition between them is buttery smooth. There's no harsh clashing of colors, making it a very safe, highly elegant style to rely on for your poster or slides.
But hey, what if you want to be loud? What if you want to grab someone's attention from all the way across the classroom? That's when you use complementary colors, which are complete opposites on the wheel. It creates a very sharp, highly contrasting effect. If that contrast feels just a bit too intense for you, try split complementary. That's where you take one color and combine it with the two colors sitting next to its exact opposite. It's still sharp, but the transition is just a little bit smoother.
Let's move to and see how this builds visually. If you compare them, on one side, you've got that direct, bold clash of complementary opposites. Bam, super sharp. But on the other side, that split complementary scheme forms a sort of triangle on the wheel. It gives you this fantastic, dynamic contrast, but with a nuanced three-color blend that just feels a lot richer and much more balanced.
And guys, understanding color isn't just theoretical art class stuff. There's a fascinating fact right in the textbook that says, colors are used as attributes or symbols in various organizations in Indonesia and even as Indonesian football national team costumes. Think about the red and white or the gold and grease of the Garuda squad. Those color combinations carry actual national pride and real-world meaning. When you master these styles, you're literally mastering how people perceive your entire message.
We've completely broken down the whole shebang today. From structuring your sentences so you sound like a pro, to nailing your vocal delivery, all the way to using the psychology of the color wheel to create the perfect visual display. The ball is entirely in your court now. So, what color style are you going to choose for your next big class presentation? Apply these strategies and absolutely blow your audience away. Thanks for hanging out with me for today's explainer, and I'll see you next time.